Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whole bunch of numbers. Welcome to Track Feedback. Today is Wednesday, August 17th. Can you believe it? It's the 17th of August. I'm leaving in like a couple weeks. There's my monitor screen. Randy Adams, Shepherd's, Mr. Melvis. Hey, everybody. So welcome to Track Feedback. You know what this is, but for anybody who's just coming in, this is where we give each other notes on our music and help make it better. So it's a simple review process. We listen to it, talk about how it feels, and analyze three things: sound design, song structure, and the mix. So for sound design, we want it to sound original and have the sounds fit together as a group, you know, not like some crazy sounds that make no sense. For a song structure, we just want the basics: intro, build up, climax, outro. Any way you want to put those together, even with ambient music, those things can still happen. It should go through a flow and stay interesting all the time. And then for the mix, of course, you got to drop some bass. So we're going to play through some tracks. Today, I want to start off with a little preview of how to EQ your tracks. This is a course I've been building with hands-on lessons that you do inside Live. This is what you see when you open it up on the sidebar. There's a little intro to the lesson. Up top, there's some instructions that start off. I'm just going to go right into one of the examples. DJ Waters is here. So check this out. This is what you would actually experience when you're doing this lesson inside Ableton. Let's start with an example. I'm going to demonstrate the frequency sweep technique on pink noise. All I want you to do is listen, pay attention to how it feels, and watch the EQ controls move. Okay, now we go to the next scene. That was not me talking on camera. That's inside the lesson. To find this example, do this with me right now. Select track 1 and do Shift-Tab until you see the EQ8 device. Then double-click in the frequency display window in the center section to expand the frequency display so you can see all the control knobs in one place. We're going to work with band 4, the parametric EQ, on EQ8. Okay, now we go to the next scene. Let's check out this example. Let's do some frequency sweep on a lovely pink noise sound. Step 1 is to add gain. Check your Q to make sure your frequency is not too wide, not too narrow. Around Q equals 1.5 is a natural kind of a shape. And you sweep around to find different parts of the sound. There's the sub rumble, low mid-range, mid-range, high mids, and the highs. When you come to a place that sounds a little harsh, like around 10K, 10 kilohertz, you can sweep, tune in on a part you don't really like, and then cut some frequency. Okay, I'm going to stop there. That is what these hands-on session lessons are all about. So you have audio clips with instructions where I'm telling you what to do. Then you have examples where we're going through actual automation in the lesson, and you see the controls moving, you hear what happens, and you learn a technique for doing something. And then right after that, it's your turn. You do the activity, whatever it is in the lesson, and you actually learn by doing it, which is super cool. And I'm having a really good time. Having a really good time building these. I finally have the whole process tuned in to record them quickly, make a really smooth process where people actually learn step by step to do this stuff instead of just watching somebody else on video. So that is coming out at the end of this month. It's called How to EQ Your Tracks. And there are a bunch of these lessons, not just one on frequency sweep. First, you get the techniques. Then we do activities with sub bass, drums, instruments, actually EQing sounds, dropping presets, how to dial in the presets, how to know where you should cut or boost, how to solve problems with EQs, how to pick the right EQ. All that stuff is in here. It's a great course. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shepherds, I'm a good ventriloquist. Thank you. So that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and now I'm just putting together the packaging, the promo, making the course all look good. So let's quit Live 10, and here is Live 11. Mike. And let's get over to our browser. So this is a track that Mindbender posted. We'll keep that for the outro music because it's not really for review. And let's get started with Mr. Melvis, Hard Funk V1A. Okay, it seems like it kicked in without an intro, just sort of started. I almost wasn't sure if the beginning got cut off, but whatever. Keep going here. I like that stereo percussion a lot. Okay, this is gonna be a Melvis and Mindbender experience. So we're listening to like the skeleton right now. The crash is really big and bright, that's good. So I'm imagining the Mindbender sound of like some acid synth in the middle here. I definitely feel the tempo and the low kick drum is gonna be big and huge. I'm gonna skip through. So the question I have is how much is Mindbender gonna add on here? Is this is he gonna take your sounds and mix them, or is he gonna actually add synths and effects and everything? Feeling like the kick drum could be bigger, so the low end mix is not tuned in yet. And the bass line isn't exactly clear. It's got a bright, let's go back here. So the bass sound feels a bit artificial or canned. Kind of sounds like the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack or something, where it's like, it's got a metallic, like that Seinfeld clank on the front of the bass. And it's also like up in the mid-range a bit. So I would take some of the high end off the bass line right away to get a more round, deeper bass tone. 3 basses layered. Okay. It has a nice attack on a percussive like layer, but it sounds like the bass is really prominent and doesn't quite fit with the low end. So I would do kick drum bigger, tone down the high frequencies on the bass line. That crash is good. The stereo percussion is good. And shift the mix to be more of like a bottom heavy, really like a super low end kick thump. And then put the bass line above that. Yeah, Shepherds, the kick drum feels big, but doesn't have enough power compared to the bass line. I like the synths in the mid-range. Sort of feels disconnected, like the synth thing is got like a high frequency thing. The bottom isn't quite clear, and the mid-range are like, they're like 3 separate spaces. It doesn't feel like that chugga kind of thing. Right here, it went into a different, right here. Max is here. Okay, and then the ending sort of, the layers stop at different moments. So we didn't really have an ending or a beginning. It looks like a sketch kind of a track. Seeing it's 5:30 right now. And working with Mindbender, I would not be surprised if this turns into 7 minutes with a bit of an intro, a bit more of an ending, bigger kick drum on the bottom, and then maybe some different kind of acid synth lines in the middle. Shepard's comment is interesting. Shorten the kick length and then a touch of boost in the punch area, like 70 to 90 hertz. Yeah, like go to 90 hertz and boost up a bell curve EQ to get that kind of like dook, 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 like that harder part of the kick drum. And I'm still a little confused of how much more is going to get added on here. So I don't want to, it feels to me like it's a little bit like an empty place in the middle where the instrument stuff isn't really laid in place. It's kind of a beats skeleton. So I was trying to comment on the low end stuff that is here in the track, and then when we hear all the other parts, we could add some more. But that's cool, and your collaborations have really been going in a good direction, so keep that going. Now, does DJ Waters give any fucks? Let's find out. Apologies for anybody who's not up to speed yet. Get ready. You have 0 time. Yes. I want to roll it back to 22 seconds. Okay, Shepard's had a cool comment in Discord about that exact moment, and I love timestamps. Okay, so coming back up on the broadcast level. Vocals are awesome. This is a pounding smasher. Good distortion layering. I like this part. Those growls are cool. Let me roll back just a minute here. Okay, at that section, the high mids, 3,000, 4,000, 5K, they're like... I would EQ those upper mids down a little bit, like right here, with the cymbal crash and that scratchy sound. It's grating. Now this part just makes me feel good. Like, this layering sounds really good. It feels complete. Aha, yeah. Okay, let me roll back. That brassy sound, I think, is a little too loud. And it also comes in sort of unannounced. I think it should be more like about this level. And then back up. So that brassy melody thing is like really a lot louder relative to the rest of this stuff. Matt Schultz. Ooh, I like that deep one. 152, it really gets like a deep bow bow. Crunchy. Serious business. I like this melody better. This one feels more comfortable. I'm gonna go back and check in mono back there. All right. I like those really deep ones. 245. Bow, bow. There's like two super deep ones. And I'm hearing some more kind of dubstep wobble sounds in here, which is cool. This one, the sound design, it feels like there is more layers than usual in a good way. Vocals sound great. What is that one low part? Right at 317 and 318. Look at what happens with the low end. Right there at 317. A couple times in the track there are these two low kicks that are just like wow, wow. That sounds so good. I wish we had more of that, like a whole section of just that. There it was again. 328. Bow, bow. So overall at this part, there's a scratchy kind of higher frequency thing that's like grating. Might be there like around 1K. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted. This part. Ooh, those gaps too. Check mono. All right, that ending is definitely my favorite part, and this grating sound that's like I have a hard time with that personally, and then that sound goes away right here and we just get deep. And please understand, I'm being completely serious. This part is something I can relax with. A lot of people probably don't think of this as relaxing music, but when that high-pitched sound drops out and we just get that deep womp, 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 it honestly is so calming and like, right here. That ear candy. The gaps. All right, so overall, the things that I think should change are that melody sound, that brassy melody at the ending, and then in the first third. The first time we hear that sound, it just comes in too loud relative to everything else. So just as compared to the world of this track, that one sound is too loud. I would change that if I were you. For me personally, that screechy higher frequency sound I was commenting on here at the end, and then here at this part. That sound at 057, I guess that's part of the track. It's part of the style, and there is definitely some friction in this music, so I'm not going to tell you to move that sound, but maybe in the mastering, take down those high mids enough that it's not like really ear-piercingly deadly on a big system. And my favorite part, again, is right here. Shepard's way better head nodding factor, right? Unlike that, like, ow, 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 ow. So I like where this track ends up. It seems like it's very solid in the world of DJ Water's relaxing ambient meditation music for people to chill out with. Ian, let me know if that's useful. I want to move on and keep going with that. I think version 2.2 could be done. Minor tweaks, basically. And the best thing is that the ear candy and the vocal samples, every time they came in, they were loud and wide and surrounded my head, and I could hear it through that mashed up layers of distortion. So that was the best part. That's really, really nicely done. I don't know how much time you spent on the vocals and things, but whatever processing you're doing, is good. Okay, Attack version 2. I think I did comments on this on Saturday. I wanted to just run through it. And
a warning may come quite unexpectedly.
Audio.
We will now tell you what to do if a warning sounds when you are at home. And then we will explain what to do if you are out of door. Take cover at once. If attack is imminent, you will hear the attack sound like this.
Snare drum sounds great. Yes. Mono. Stereo. Whoa. What was that sound? 52? That's amazing. I want to do that one in mono. Okay, I can still hear it. It's not as cool. Oh, AFL, John's here. Cool. Your video promo went out today on Instagram. I scheduled that. Thanks everybody for helping share those posts and everything. Let me check the changelog on here. Okay, so you said it's a track for a live set, not for release. You're gonna have variations of words to put in over the track, make it different every time. That's cool. That's a good technique. So basically the music bed is gonna be playable and then you'll have different like audio, 8D audio for storytelling, right?
Take cover at once.
Yeah.
Listen.
Let's go through the build-up. I like that snare level. Yeah.
The attack song.
All right, so in the basically what I wanted to say, I said in writing in Discord already. I wanted to run through this, hear it again, and think I have basically the same comments.
When the all clear sound.
There's that dude. Maybe the kick drums could have a little bit more of a thump impact. Like after the snare build up, they come in as like a wall of distortion. It works okay. They feel kind of like a like a grumbling wall of distortion without that one hard impact in the middle of it. So that's kind of my opinion. Matt Schultz is here. Hey. So I'm not sure if I'm helping you with the attack track, but I wanted to hear it again. So who else is here? As always, I like to play people's music who is here in the chat. AFL is here. Max is here. Shepard was here first. Ben Hunt. Is Ben here? I don't know if Ben's here. Oh, this is a New World V3. And then Donats and that one. Okay. So let's go through a couple of these. And then boink. Shepard's is a good follow for DJ Waters. I wasn't quite ready for Donats right now, but this. One more time. I want to hear that intro. So here's broadcast level. Not touching. Nice pulse. Tick-a-da, tick-a-da. I like that rumble layer. Like shwa, shwa, shwa. That's cool percussion too. Kind of clacky. Mindbender, hey, how you feeling? Good ear candy. Okay, now, Ian, when I was just commenting on the attack track, I was thinking of a kick drum actually sort of like a Shepard style where there's a real bump on it, where the bump is almost like an individual bump, and then it's surrounded by distortion. So it's like, it's buzzing and thumping at the same time. The attack track, like the distortion and the thump were almost the same level, so it was just like a distortion with pulses in it. It was okay, but here's a good illustration of what I was trying to describe. Randy, feels like Saturday, everybody's here, yeah. I like those effects that were just happening there. Okay, let me go back. The little gap right here. I just did that at the broadcast level. That gap, the ear candy should be a lot louder. One more time. Not touching. Too quiet. Back loud again. One more time. Now I'm going to turn it up. I just jacked the volume in that breakdown to get that little stuff in the middle really a lot louder. I think the cymbal could come up a little bit louder. Here's some high shelf EQ. Yeah, that high percussion. This is classic Shepherd's. Did that slow down? Oh man, one more time. Now I'm turning this up. I like it loud right here. So much cool detail in here. I guess we could almost say the whole kick drum low end could come down a few dB and the whole mid-range and high frequency could come up. Let me try that on the board with EQ. I just cut low shelf, raise volume, returning the low shelf. Okay, so right here I have the EQ with a low shelf about -4 dB at 60 hertz, and then everything louder. And I think it makes the mids and highs sound a lot better. This is perfect right here. Yeah, that shaker, the percussion, the high frequency stuff, more crisp and bright on top. Good changes, keeping it interesting. Really good drum layers, all the percussion. Let me roll it back. In this section in the high mids, kind of the same comment I had for DJ Waters of that whistling, like that high frequency thing up here. 3.8, 7,000, those frequencies are going to be harsh on a big system when the tweeters are like on fire. Now I'm going to put the bass EQ back to flat. I mean, that still sounds good. That rumble sounds like a fire. If you put a microphone near a fire with the wind, it's like... So Max, cutting below 20, 30 hertz could help to have a better definition in the low end. Maybe that would help. Maybe that would do it, because I was feeling like I was missing details in the mid-range and the high frequency. There's so much cool stuff happening up there that I wanted to bring up the mids and highs and possibly taking the lows down with like, 30 hertz cut or something could make a difference. And according to Pivclit, I'm starting to agree with this even more. A low shelf EQ can work. You don't need a high-pass filter. I tend to high-pass filter stuff and stay farther away, like at a lower frequency so it doesn't do as much effect. But with a low shelf EQ, you could pick where you want to put it and then reduce it a few dB and get kind of the same effect. It's a subtle difference, but it's worth exploring. And Shepherds, one more time, I want to go through the very end, the last part where it's just the kick drum and the rumble and a little tick. There was such cool percussion in there. This part sounds like somebody actually like a snare, like a jazz drum, right? And then right here. That last part is good. Somehow the kick is really clear and the rumble in between it. What. Just listen to the upbeat static rumble in between the kick drums at this ending. I don't know what it is. I like the micro timing on that rumble, the way the side chaining releases. So the in-between rumble also has a pulse like ooh-wah, 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 ooh-wah. It's just really nicely done. The super tight rhythm, great percussion, keeps changing percussion throughout, so it stays interesting. So I guess we could put this up for a mastering issue of just taking the whole low end. Pivclit said tilted, like the mix is tilted too much and the low end is up. So maybe just tilt it back, like the whole low end down a little bit, brighten up the mids and highs, and then like 3.8K or 7.1K, a little bit of EQ dip so that some of those really screechy frequencies with claws aren't too big. So Shepard is cutting the meat with high pass filter can mess up the phase. Linear phase doesn't make it better. Yeah, actually, that's one of the reasons I use autofilter is apparently the algorithm for how they built autofilter works better at low frequencies compared to the high pass filters in EQ8. Shepard is more of a shelf fan. Well, that's a more technical debate than I can get into right now. Overall, the track sounds great. I like the feel and the style. And then as far as composition, it's kind of a mixed note, but I really noticed that in these gaps, I wanted the stuff happening in the gap to be louder, but only at that moment. So like when you're in the mix, right? At 150 right here, 146. So like after here at 150, those middle sounds, you know, I talked about wanting the mid-range brighter and the high frequency brighter, but could you go with automation? So just when the kick drum drops out, really exaggerate all the other stuff and make it louder temporarily? So that only in that little gap, the volume is louder compared to the rest. I think I would like that because all those little, I'll call them ear candy or synthesizer like gurgles and bubbles, like I would like those to just jump out in your face when the kick drum is gone. And then when the kick drum comes back, they sort of go back and start bubbling in the mid-range. All right, I have talked enough about bubbling in the mid-range. Now let's do some growling. Oof. Clean. That is also a nice kick. Good stereo field. Nice and deep. There we go. This sounds like something Randy would make. I get like the color deep blue, like underwater blue, you know? Those stereo effects are beautiful. Yeah, there we go. Nice timing on the percussion, building the track slowly. I like the reverb on those synths. They're in a nice space. That synth. It's really cool having the melody lower in the mid-range too. It's an interesting track. That's an interesting observation, the feeling that the snare is slowing the track down. I feel like it's a tiny bit late, but it works for me. It's got a cool feel. Shepherd, snare drum louder and more in your face, possibly. Yeah, I would make the snare a little bit louder. Here comes some EQ. That was me. A little bit like 2000 or 2.5K on the snare drum by itself, just to like get it snappier. How did we arrive at a breakdown? I almost didn't notice. That was really smooth. We're gonna do that again. Detune. Whoa. This track is surprising me. Like, things happen that I don't expect. That's good. DJ Waters, the best one yet from Max. Oh, cool, Mindbender. Maybe some ghost notes on the snare. Little taps, right? How would you do those ghost notes? And that stereo field. Yeah, this I I don't have a lot of notes on this one. I think in your changelog you said something like, it's not 100% done yet, but every time you bring us a track, it's already like 99% done. The kick and the sub are in a beautiful space together. I guess the instrument group overall could use some mid-range compression, but that's really getting towards mastering, not a production problem. The structure and the composition are perfect. I don't have any notes on that at all. Has a very organic feel of it, just like grows kind of out of nowhere. Okay, coming in for a landing, I think, in a little bit. Now that's exactly where I expected the track to break and go into the outro. So I like that a lot. Man, the structuring is beautiful on this. I want to go back to the main breakdown part because even though I'm looking at the waveform, I didn't expect it to come in the way it did. Did Live just quit? What the hell? So what's happening to make this breakdown? Kick drum dropped out, but the synths are still growing. Let me do that one more time when I'm not distracted. So kick drum drops out, the other drums stay in. That wash of stereo sound comes down. There's a reverse cymbal crash, and the synths keep going. That was a really cool design. It's very simple with all the elements that we were familiar with. Just kind of adding a reverse crash. and keeping the hi-hats going after the kick drum drops out kept the energy building actually when the kick was gone. That was cool. And then the way it sneaks back in. So we had that detune thing, like silence. And the anti-drop of just little beeps. The kick drum comes back in with these little high frequency things. I like this melodic instrument here. Man, that's cool. Very minimal notes. I think the only notes I would have would be like at the mastering level of compression on the instruments overall in the mid-range, so that everything is loud and dynamic at the same time. So we're gonna give this one the big D. What did Matt say? Oh, Agents of Time or Mind Against territory, which is a good thing. Yeah, the silence with fewer elements going into the drop. Yeah, Max, man, this is a beautiful song. I think this is ready for mastering. I think it's done, done, done. Let's just get to the ending. And returning with that theme, that kind of like softer synth. That's great. Yeah, that empty drop is gonna work for dance floor for sure. It's like a big lift, then that moment where you get like good sound. That white. You got the sub bass like Matt Schultz. Bloop, bloop. But this one is a little bit different. This one is like bloop. And atmosphere. Cool, man. Ready for mastering. That one has nice vibe, nice style. Really good mix. And overall, I think my favorite thing is the way the energy just flows and has peaks, little build-ups and mini build-ups. Very smooth to listen through. So nice job on that one. Let us know when that's going to be ready. Okay, AFL V3 standing in a hurricane. And let me check which one I had commented on in Discord. That's a cool sound. I like the harmonic progression. I'm rhythmically confused right now. Okay, hold on. So, we're in the beat right here, right? Around 55 right here. I'm not sure if it's a breakdown or what. There's like too many kick drums for a breakdown and not enough for a beat. Now the beat's back in and it makes sense. So that part earlier when the kick drum is kind of coming and going, structurally I got lost. I was like, where are we? Matt, how do you say that word? Ferch? Ferch. Ferch. Meaning done, right? Okay, this is cool with just one kick drum repeatedly, because I understand we're in a slowdown section. And then back in. Is this really 100 BPM? No. Yeah. All right, now we're in the groove, yeah. Double bumps, I heard that. That one was cool. Let me go back here. Okay, going into that at 221, can we have a little sound that announces the kick drum is dropping out? Because it's like things stopped. Like a little transition before that beat drops out, so we're ready for like the shift. Basically, I think in this track, the structure is the issue. The mix is really good. The sounds are cool. I'm getting a bit confused with when the kick drum stops and starts, or why, or it's not signaled or something. So that's what I would work on in this one. Let me know if that makes sense. Oh yeah, your vocals. You've been picking good vocal samples lately. Very much of like stuck in your head kind of thing. See, that's perfect. We had a vocal section, reverse cymbal, beat comes in, beat is steady, I'm in it, you know? Yeah, everything works when we get to this part. What are you guys talking about? All is clear. I like that transition. That percussion, these beats, those double bumps, it's all cool right here. I like the sound. That's a great sound. The filter moving on there. Nice low bass right here. Check that out. Here it could use one more transition build-up sound, like a snare drum build or something. In my opinion. That's cool. Vocal edits right here. The tambourine and everything. Yeah, I think this track is going to be ready mix-wise and everything. Just a little bit of structural edits. Mainly in the first minute. Right here, now we're getting it. The kick, the bass, the synths, the vocal, the drums. It all sits together really well. Okay, let's get... There's the build out. I like the position of the low end. The mix just feels nice. Like I can hear everything. It's all coming at you and nicely balanced. And we get the reverb tails. I want to try counting a little bit with the kick drum here and figure out what was confusing me mentally inside my brains. 2, 3, 4. Those synths are nice. 6, 7, 8. All right, so right there, like on bar 6, the kick drum dropped out before, like, so the kick drum comes in. Within the first 8 bars of kick drum, there was a gap that didn't, I was like, oh, a gap at bar 6? One more time. That's like cutting out that kick drum so soon in the track. I think that's too soon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There was a gap there. And then, honestly, for the first 16 bars, just put the kick drum in straight on every quarter note, because it's in that tempo of tracks that you could mix it into a house set and take it to like a chill out house direction. And the way those kicks are dropping out, they are sending signals that something is stopping, but then it starts again. And I know that's I'm like telling you to be predictable, but honestly, I think it would make it easier to listen to if the first 16 bars had steady kicks. Then later, when you get over here to the double bump kicks, right? I want to hear one of those. That one, okay. 2, 3, 2, 3, yeah. See, those are hitting hard and they sound unique and cool, and they get you on like a little like extra beat, and then it comes back in right away. It's predictable enough that you get the beat you feel, and it's extra enough that you're hearing cool variations. So those double bumps right there around 3 minutes are awesome. For me personally, the first 1 minute, it was too rhythmically unexpected. So I would just put in straight 16 kick drums and let it be simple at the opening structurally. And I don't know why I'm so into that. Like, it really feels like it's important to me. If you totally don't want to do it, it's not going to like fuck up your track permanently or whatever. It's not like a fatal error. But for me, that's just something that was really sticking out. I was like, what is happening at this intro? And I want to say that's an awesome mix. The mix sounds not only done, but it sounds almost like a pop track, you know, where the female vocal is like nice and up in the middle and everything. So your mixing skills are definitely coming together pretty tight. So let's move on to Ben Hunt, Energy Rush version 3. And of course, you can veto my kick drum advice on this one if you want to. I was trying to be descriptively clear. All right, Energy Rush, Ben Hunt, EQ flat, stereo width, back wide. And let me check the change log if anything else came in on this. Oh, I wrote Big D in my comments already. Right, yeah, we talked about this on Saturday. Paul Robinson had some cool comments. Bubbling bass line, acid sound, nice build, background panning. Is Ben? Ben isn't here. Is Ben here? I don't think I saw him yet. Sweep coming up. Yes, he worked on the bass line and got those individual notes tighter. Previous versions, they were kind of like a mush of notes. Dun, 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 dun. Now we can hear the minor third interval and the bass note rhythm. That's what I liked about this update. The downbeat ride, Shuppers, yeah. I hear a little Mindbender influence in this track, right? That's awesome. Yeah, man, that was a nice lift. Yeah, Ben, I think this is done. Hi. I hate skipping tracks. Ben got injected by Morton. Morton, you still here? How's your sternum? Did you actually fracture your breastplate? I want to know how. like that high frequency sound, and I like it that it's kind of quiet. It's in the background. Maybe in the mastering there's a little mid-range right here. I was just doing a little EQ wiggle around 1,000 hertz. It's like, let's listen to that one more time. I'm gonna cut and boost. That resonance. So around 900. Oh, Shepherds, you grabbed that and commented on it too. Thank you. One mastering note, 900 hertz in the breakdown. Suck out some of that. Like, otherwise, solid. The layers, the vibes, that ping on the kick drum. Bing, bing. Oh, Max, thanks for jumping in. Always nice to see you. Your track sounded amazing, dude. Let us have a copy of that because it's sounding big D. And Ben, the end of the snare. I'm not ear candy. Cool. Nice job. Tiny note at 900 hertz. And don't be so hard on Ian. AFL, another AFL track. And another DJ Waters. Who are you people doing all this music? Let's do Donats because even though he's not here, he's been waiting in the stream. And then we'll do the other ones. And wow, it's already 1 o'clock. What the heck? This will be the end, not of the stream, just of our... I don't know what. I know that's Donats. Down, down, boom, boom, boom. Let me check the change log. I think he was asking about notes on the bass sound. Okay, new one early on. Need more drum and snare variation. Not sure about the bass line or open hi-hats. Tim Laws, good comments in Discord. Thank you for that. I like it that the drums are nice and simple right here. Percussion programming is okay so far. Sounds like there's a click at the end of the bass loop. You hear that? That open hi-hat is good. That came in, added a nice layer of energy. I got no problem with the open hi-hat. I like the vocal. The whoop. Those two vocal samples are good. Clap is good. Clap actually might be a little too loud. That could probably come down just a little bit. I like the bass line. I don't like the bass sound. Okay, Matt, click adds to the rhythm. I want to find that bass. Okay, the bass I'm hearing is like this. That's not what the bass is playing, but I sort of can't tell. There's one bass note that happens on a kick drum that's getting a little like buried. I really think it would be good to double all your bass lines with a bass instrument that's filtered down to a low frequency, then take your bass samples, keep the rhythm, and put them into the mid-range so they have that little variation of like a real sample. Let's just listen to that bass sound again. There's a little like reverse, like a little click of the next note starting at the end of the loop. Whoop. So if you keep the sample and have that gritty body of like a realistic bass sample, and then double it underneath, or whatever the bassline notes you want to have, I really think it would help to have the clean bassline notes that you could just get like each note recognizable in between the kick drums and stuff. And that's not just for this track. That's like an overall Donats thing, is getting the bass lines to be more crisp and recognizable instead of having it be a sample that's sort of forced into an electronic track. Shepard has put a little delay on the clap, turn it down a little bit. Yeah, I agree. Because I feel like with this beat and vocal, that bass line could be a total driving, funky bass line. But I'm just missing some of that like excitement in the bass line because the sample feels sort of muffled. Yeah, the vocal gives the track a great groove for sure. Structure is awesome. Second track, Adam had the bass line keys out. Yeah. Structure is working, sounds are working except for the bass instrument. Drums. Just take the clap down a little bit. These little closed hi-hats, tick-a-tick, tick-a-tick. Those could come up a little bit. What was that double kick drum right there? That was cool. Boom, boom. 430, yeah. Track has soul for sure, has vibe. Oh, this will be the end. I just heard the vocal sample finally. Good delay. And it feels like at this point in the track, like the open hi-hat should be cut out. So I can see that there's some space to develop the drum programming with more detail for the song sections. I like that delay on the chord part here. Wah, 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 wah. That's a good pulse for the ending of the track. Cool, so Dinesh, work on that bass sound to get each bass note clearly audible, even if you have to. What I would seriously do is reconstruct that bass, reconstruct the bass sample here. Create a bass that's exactly what you want with the same tone, timbre, frequency range, and everything, and notes. Program a MIDI bass line that works exactly the way you want, that you could mix at the right volume, and then take this bass line, bring the sub frequencies out of it, even maybe distort it a little bit more or put some saturation on it or make it a bit louder. So we get a little bit of rhythm and voice from that bass line on like the upper frequency part of the bass line. Use your original sample bass to be like the texture and like the mid-range cool stuff, and then have a totally different bass line that you can tightly integrate with the kick drum. Boop, 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 boop. And get that whole thing going on with the bass pulse. I think that would make the track better and groovier and more driving. So you're like, ooh, that bass line's grabbing me. Because all your bass lines are up and down bouncy. That's Not a problem. So that will be the end. Now, this is a new world, version 3. Comments in Discord. I want to check. You were asking for something specific on here. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. This one grabs you right from the beginning. This is a new world. Okay, that vocal was a little bit louder than it needs to be. Not a problem, but noticeable that it doesn't need to be that loud. What did you say here? Something feels off key with the kicks and bass line? Okay. Oh, I just saw your comment. You know what's wrong with... Oh, of course not. Hold on. That sweep made me squint. I was like, psst. That was loud. I like the low end dive bomb. Didn't like the high frequency right there. So Ian, do you have what you need on this? Second bass line is out. You got what's wrong? I like the way this kick drum feels. And the upbeat bass. Wah, 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 wah. I like the feel in this track. Whatever you're gonna do for version 4, I want to hear it. It's a melodic DJ Waters track. Amazing sound right there. I know by now I know not to look behind me, but it's like, I feel it like on the back of my head, man. That's a moment. Yeah, that arrival was definitely good. Out of the melodic space, coming in with the heavy bottom and the melody on top definitely works. So the vibe for me is working great. Back in. That one's a little bit too loud. Because of my ears. Shepard's mid-arp synth could be a little more audible if you lower the other highs a touch. Okay. Yeah, Ian, it's not bad. I mean, this one's playable right now. So I'd like to hear version 4. But if this one is at like 90%, version 4 could go up a bit, but this one is not bad. No fatal errors. Couple little notes. Very nice progress. And the nice long tail. My nemesis track. Once in a while you have a track like that where it's doing something that doesn't sit right and you can't fix it no matter what you do. That's frustrating. But good job to keep going with it. That's what track feedback is all about. And the wrong move is to delete everything and throw it away, because maybe you need to sit on it for a month or 3 months, but don't delete a track. In general, for people in producer land, Don't delete a track when you think it's stuck. Sometimes you come back to it and all you have to do is mute that one layer, that one extra idea, and everything else about it is awesome. I have tracks like that where I go back in and I listen to it, and it's so clear after 6 months or whatever that the core of the track is over here of this part, which is totally complete by itself. And for some idiotic reason, I was trying to add 5 more layers that I thought would make it better, which totally sucked and didn't make it better at all. And as soon as I got rid of those other layers, the original core idea was just great. So don't be afraid to do that with your tracks when you pull them out from hibernation. Just remove the parts that don't fit right and let it be big and simple with a simple thing. And a lot of times that's all you need. So that's my sermon for everybody out there. Shepherds, in those cases, I try all my distortion plugins. If it doesn't work, bin it. And yeah, you do have to let go. Music tracks, not every single one is going to be something you like. All right, we got AFL and then some outro music and some announcements. Matt Schultz, when it does not flow, I delete and start from scratch again. I don't believe you. You delete your atmospheric train station samples? Maybe you just delete the Ableton project? Don't delete the train station, man. People need to use the train station. This is a nice low end. Is John still here? Did he take off? He was in the car, right? This is good sound, good atmosphere. The reverb around that bass. Oh. I like the clicky things in the wide stereo field. Well, they went away, but at the beginning it was like... Oh, John's here, cool. This mix sounds great, man. I'm thinking you could take some of the high end off the kick drum. For a dubby style of track, the kick could be nice and soft and round without that click on it. Let me just start over. When the kick comes in, I'm gonna take the high shelf EQ down and we'll just listen to what that sounds like. Those are the clickies that sound really good. Okay, here's high shelf EQ down. I'm picturing the kick more like this. Deeper, darker, without that bright click on top. And here's EQ flat. But let's listen to what else comes in, because it's 5 minutes, not 30 seconds. Steve. Matt Schultz is dropping the big D already. All right. Dub sounds, low end work, basically the whole track. Okay. I like the effects, the stereo field. Check mono. That snare is cracking. That was a good kick drum break too. Good ear candy. I'm at 15, 16, and it comes back in. Good choice of sounds, the whole sonic palette fits together nice. Shepherds give us the drop. Matt Schultz, everything is within genre, kick drum is working. All right, that's a good comment. I like that repetitive. the vibe a lot. Nice and smooth. That open hi-hat's cool. I would not have a break in the hi-hat right there. Two, three, 5. So after 4 bars, before bar 5 with the open hi-hat, there's a break. I would not put in that. Keep the hi-hat consistent. That's one of the places where I think you put too many breaks, and the open hi-hat could be consistent while the kick drum is doing variations underneath it. Because especially open hi-hats and rides really carry like a very steady, constant energy, and when there's just one missing, it feels like, oh, it stopped. This is great. AFL got like the prowling panther vibes in this track. I'll write that down. Prowling panther vibes. A habit of adding way too many cuts. Is that cuts? Okay, so far my favorite part, that last 30 seconds was amazing. Really solid and deep. Here, I think you don't, after the open hi-hat goes away, right here, at 4:17, don't bring it back in again. Because now we're at like the build down, the outro. We're not gonna need another, don't bring the open hi-hat back in here, because now it's like, oh, track is starting again. Like, I was ready for the ramp down and the long mix out, nice and deep. So cut the hi-hat after 4:17, the open hi-hat. Shepard's bass line maybe get decreased a little bit. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. The kick and the sub could need a little bit of detailed mixing. Let's come back to that idea. So let's pretend the open hi-hat's not here. And then bringing it back down, yeah. So the structure could be, the percussion structure could have a couple of subtle changes. These are great sounds. What's that background sound? It's like doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. It's almost like water drops. Could that be a little louder? It's got a great reverb. Okay, when it comes to having too many cuts, earlier back here I made a comment about a great kick drum variation. It was like boom, boom. Right there, that was perfect. But then right away at 123, there was another kick drum dropout. So after that one break that goes boom, boom. After that, keep the kick drums in and don't cut out kick drums because we're going towards a breakdown. And it was that same problem of like kick drums dropping out, not clear if it's a breakdown or not. Then the breakdown starts. So let's count it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4. Seriously, I think it would make it better after that one rhythmic hiccup, just have 8 bars of straight kick drums go into the breakdown. Yeah, doom, ba-doop, boom, boom. So from 1 minute 20, just have straight kick drums all the way through to where the breakdown comes. Because right there, when I just click in the middle, like I'm not sure why the kick drums are too random. Then the breakdown starts and it's totally cool. It's like fine. Well, after a minute 20 out to a minute 36, rhythmically it's like undigested. So, okay, I think you got the point. What else did I want to say about this? Oh, Shepherds with the low end. Okay, so we can see a pretty big sub bass thing happening. Can you tell us what are you doing to mix your kick drum and the low end of your sub bass? Because I feel the kick drum real clear. It looks like maybe the bass line could come down just a little bit relative to the kick. I would need to listen to that in speakers and check reference mixes. I'm not totally positive right now. It's listenable and playable right now, but possibly Shepherds. I think you could be right. The bass line could come down a little bit. Matt Schultz, is this really dance music? I would work this into a set, yeah. It's got a deep vibe, but when that snare drum comes in, when that beat comes in, where is that? Okay, right here, this would be dub techno in a chill out set. Up until this point, it's not dance music for me. Then this comes in and I'm like, oh, that backbeat, pow. Now I could play this in a set. Clear as day, like night and day. Before that clap comes in, it's in the ambient zone. Afterwards, you could stack it up. Not like with Donat's bouncy disco house, but it definitely has like enough of a strong beat to pull you forward. That's my opinion, I'm sticking to it. And then these little rattly things. I would like those louder because they just sound cool. Okay, John, for mixing low end, I usually sidechain using a white noise blip and often low shelf on the sub. All right, cool. So possibly take the low shelf, take the frequency of the low shelf and raise the frequency. Maybe keep the shelf reduction at the same, dB reduction and just bring it up to a slightly higher frequency. Not a fatal error. And mostly this track, what bothers me about this track is it's like so good, and then the rhythmic errors, the rhythmic like compositional spots throw me off so much that I'm like, I want to really like this track, but those couple little things throw me out of the track. Doesn't make it unplayable, but it makes it like I could just see people on the dance floor being like, what just happened? Where's the beat? Why did that? And then it comes back and they're like, oh, okay, it's all good. So when I get super picky, I want to just to like keep people in that groove and not have those little things that throw them out of the groove. And I want to go back to this part after this breakdown because this whole section was so solid. So let's take a big fat bite of this piece. Perfect. This is like the track for me. Those little plucks. The open hi-hat is steady, the kick drums are steady. There's a couple of extra kick drums like ghost hits. They make it better. They're not confusing. And the whole thing, that everything about this section is just for me, this is like the definition of what I want when I play this track. Everything else is just getting there and then building down from there. Oh yeah, then we talked about, okay, maybe not having the hi-hat come back in right there. Okay, I think I've talked about this enough. Let's get version 4 to get the big D. Big D, big D. Which means done for anybody who's watching in replay land and doesn't know why I keep saying the same word again and again 500 times. Oh my gosh, 1:26 p.m. Blah, blah, blah. Let's put on some background music. Mindbender posted this and said this is the future of music. And it's a long mix. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. So what is going on in Mixotexture land? Well, first of all, how to EQ your tracks is getting rebuilt. I showed you a little bit of one of the session lessons at the beginning of this video. And they are fun. I've been recording them, building them, doing automation, so you can watch automation, see me do the EQing inside Ableton, and then do the exact same thing with the same sounds, with the same EQs to hear for yourself how to do it. That is the most hands-on way you can do it, unless you appear in this room and grab the mixer and stand next to me. Like, it's that detailed of what you learn how to do. And then we go through EQ and filter types. Why do you choose which one? What problems can you solve with it? I really try to approach it by saying, here's a track with a problem in this sound. Here's the EQ we're going to use to solve that problem. Here's how you know to pick this EQ. And then you actually solve the problem to hear the difference before and after. So it's like super practical, related to electronic music, and it's almost done. I've been building this shit out of this course. So I just got to record some tutorial videos, or, you know, the guide videos of like, welcome to the course, here's how you download a thing. And that'll be ready to go by the end of the month. I need some beta testers. I need people to open this course, go through the lessons, tell me where the automation's broken, where it doesn't work, what you didn't understand, so I can tweak the final things. What I want to do with this is have it ready for the whole holiday season to sell like a bunch of copies for everybody who wants to learn how to EQ in Ableton land. So for Black Friday, Christmas season, I would love to have this course just top level in the world of Ableton tutorials. And to get there, I'm going to put it out, ask for some testers, do some refinements, and have all that happen in the middle of moving my studio. Also, we have House Volume 1 coming out on the new Mixotexture Records label. Thank you so much to everybody who's been helping promote this. It's really amazing. We have people sharing the posts, tagging each other. There's some great tracks from people in the group. There's 14 tracks on the release, ranging from like faster, bouncy house to some chill out, deep house kind of stuff. And it's actually pretty unique. The tracks have their own feel. They sort of sound like a group of people, but each one is in its own space. And I really enjoy listening to it. Mr. Melvis, let me catch up with you on Discord about that. Not everybody has total free access to the courses because we're on YouTube right now and I can't say yes to that. But I definitely need some people who are going to test and give me feedback with comments I can use to make it better. So if you're one of those people, we'll talk on Discord and I'll get you access to play with these hands-on session lessons. And I appreciate the help. So House Volume 1 is coming out on August 26th, which is a week and a half away. We got some promo video clips coming out that Shepard's made, which are really fun. Promo posts with the artist interviews where you guys sent your bios and those questions about like what's in your pockets and stuff. I made some posts with those to show the picture, the person. People can get to know the story of where you come from, why you make your music, how it ended up on this release. And then it's coming out August 26th. So, and then Pivklit's got the version 2 of the masters coming this week. Version 1 sounded amazing, and I would be happy to put those out. So version 2, I'm even more excited. DJ Waters, I see it says session view, but I dislike session view. Well, that's too bad because I build my lessons in session view, and I really think everybody who uses Ableton should maximize the use of session view because it is so freaking handy. Now, of course, I use arrangement view. Everybody uses arrangement eventually at the end of the track, or for me, it's like the end of the production process. I start in session view, make the sounds, create the scenes where I build what's going to happen in the track. And then I just kind of like jam with those scenes and record it into the arrangement. So the track has a live feel, comes from session view. And what I try to avoid is like going into the arrangement and trying to just copy and paste blocks to guess what's going to sound good. I don't really compose like that. I compose by playing the track in the session view, launching clips, muting clips, actually jamming with the music to end up with my arrangement. That's how I do it. I'm not saying anybody else is wrong. Ian, cannot get to grips with it at all and way prefer arrangement. That's totally legit. A lot of people compose in arrangement. I'll tell you my analogy for this. Arrangement view is like carving a piece of stone. Like let's say our topic is carving sculpture instead of making music. So arrangement view is like going up to a block of marble, chopping off pieces. You stand back, you look at it, you're like, okay, go back up, chop a little bit. Long, slow process. You end up with a sculpture. It's beautiful. For me, making music is like a pottery wheel, where you get your hands wet and there's the clay and it's spinning and you're touching it. And if you want it to be different, you just touch it and feel it and go roop and like make it go taller or make it go wider. So for me, like the act of using session view is literally like throwing clay on a pottery wheel, touching it by hand and just improvising with the form right there. You can't go up to a marble sculpture and be like, maybe I'll have the arm over here. Wait, no, I won't. I'll put it over here because once you cut off the marble, you can't put it back. That's actually a very literal analogy. I really feel like it's like that, which is totally cool. Everybody gets where they want to be. Oh, Mr. Melvis, I only work in arrangement view. Are you guys having a mutiny? So Matt Schultz, back me up. Session view is a great start. Get the idea down, a few elements, then put them in arrangement and do the rest there. Yeah, arrangement is great for seeing the big picture when you have the arrangement done, like the song structure, running the automation. You know where I use arrangement the most? After I have the skeleton of the track built and I want to put in like crash, my reverse crash, little transitions, and really get the detail of like when a sound hits, when the delay comes in, how long the delay lasts, how does it morph into something else. I get precise. I like to do automation in the arrangement view. Shepherds, session view is like a child playing with sand. Arrangement view is like building the castle. I assume you mean with cement and stones. That's cool. I didn't know you all have different opinions on that. So Ian, yeah, I mean, if you don't like session view, then the lessons I'm building, you might not flow with those lessons, which I could totally understand. However, guess what? The course comes with tutorial videos where all those live streams I did in June, I recorded those. They're in the course. So if you want to watch, an hour chunk of how I use the tools to get the sounds, you can watch that. Then the project lesson has the same sounds and the same music. So you could hybrid the whole thing, watch the video, take the Ableton project, play with the sounds and EQ them, and get to the same result that way. It's just, for me, I really like building lessons in session view because you can go step by step. You can go back and repeat them. You get instructions for each one. They're short chunks in case you have attention issues like a lot of people do. DJ Waters, I jumped from Fruity Loops to Ableton. That's not all you jumped from. All right, we tease each other a little bit in this group, but it's all love. We got a great community. I totally love how everybody's interacting with each other, helping each other, jamming, improvising, collaborating, making music, and sharing posts, I guess. So let me stop before I talk all day. I got some other fish to fry this afternoon. Oh, and I almost forgot, dude. Saturday the 20th, this month is a bit crazy because of all the moving operations. I have to move the feedback from Saturday to Sunday this week. So I'm going to do the live stream on Sunday the 21st. Saturday the 20th, I have a whole thing going on. So I will send an email about that and make a note about that in Discord and everything. Hope it's not too inconvenient. But Sundays are cool, right? You can hang out on Sunday, do some track feedback. And please put your links into Discord early enough that I can grab them. How did you like the comments in Discord? Was that helpful? I saw a lot of people reacted, so that worked on the days when I have to skip track feedback. I try not to skip any of them because I know it's our meeting zone and it feels cool to hang out. Ian, FL was great, but I prefer Ableton. Yeah. I used FL Studio like only on guest hangouts with friends. I never really had it to play with. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. I'll see you all in Discord. Thanks so much for hanging out, and get ready for House Volume 1.